pressed my lips together to keep from laughing, but inside I was dying. Beverly had a potty mouth. I was under the impression little old ladies didn't cuss. Obviously, I was wrong. Despite my efforts to keep the laughter in, a giggle escaped anyway, and I tried to cover it with a cough. "Yeah, it does look like it needs some work," I agreed. Not only was the grass overgrown, but dandelions and weeds were scattered everywhere. She guided me to a shed, which looked like it might not hold up for much longer. White paint peeled off the rotted wooden siding, and the hinges screeched as the door opened. Inside was an ancient-looking push mower. "You know how to work this thing?" Beverly asked as she gave it a light kick with the toe of her pink house slippers. I shrugged. "I can figure it out." I couldn't figure it out. There had been instructions on the mower at one time, but it was too faded and scratched up to make out the words. Not helpful. I pulled at the cord for what had to be the 20th time, putting all my strength into it. This time it actually started to sputter to life, and I let out a triumphant shout. Unfortunately, it didn't last more than a couple seconds before it died. I let out a frustrated groan and wiped the sweat from my forehead. The long green blades tickled the back of my thighs when I sat down in the grass, and I wondered what I should do next. Maybe I should wave the white flag and admit defeat. I picked an overgrown dandelion from amongst the weeds. Spinning it between my fingers, I blew the fuzz into the breeze and made a wish. It was a simple wish. Home and happiness. The two things I wanted most. "Looks like you might need some help," a gravelly voice said behind me. I turned to see an old man, probably in his 80s, standing on a concrete patio in the backyard next door. He was wearing khaki pants that were being held up by suspenders over a white button-up shirt. On top of his head was a weathered-looking hat that said, Army. "Yeah, this thing is trying to kill me." I sighed dramatically as I pointed to the uncooperative piece of machinery. He barked out a laugh. "It can be tricky. First thing you gotta do is check to make sure it's got gas in it." "Oh. Well, that would make sense," I said, feeling a bit dense for not thinking of something so obvious. The man got down to his knees to unscrew the gas cap, and he peered inside. "Yep, got gas," he confirmed, and put the cap back on. "Next, you gotta push this button here 3 times. It pumps the gas into the line so it can start." He pointed to the button, and I did what he said. "Now," he said as he stood up, "gotta hold on to this lever, unless you want the engine to stop. Then you pull the cord. And you gotta pull it fast." He whipped his arm back, mimicking the motion. I grabbed the lever and brought it down to the handle with one hand, while I reached for the cord with the other. Pulling as hard as I could, I yanked on the cord and the mower roared to life. I squealed as it lurched forward, and I had no choice but to hang on and walk along with it. The man was laughing so loud I could hear it over the noise of the mower. "Thank you," I yelled back at him as I continued to stumble forward. Once I got going, it really wasn't that hard. The worst part was the heat. Earlier, I had put my hair up in a messy bun, and I was glad to have it off my neck and shoulders, which were dripping with sweat. Beverly's yard wasn't huge, so my job was done in about 20 minutes. After I was finished, I was putting the mower back in the shed when the man from next door came back over. "Not bad, little lady, not bad," he said as he stuck out his hand. "Name's Ernie." I wiped my hand on my shorts before returning the handshake. "Angel." "Any chance you're looking for more yards to mow?" he asked. "Yeah, definitely," I said, excited at the possibility of getting more work. More work meant more money. "My yard's bigger, but I've got a riding mower," he boasted, hitching his thumbs under his suspenders. "When are you free?" Right now?" "You're hired," he exclaimed, and his smile was contagious. "I'll just go let Beverly know I'm..."